A high school boy turns out to be a deadly vampire who has the power to wipe out the entire population of his city. To defeat him, a fairy from the underworld arrives. Will she be victorious, or will the vampire make her fall in love with him? Let's find out, as today on Anime Recaps, we will be covering the first 4 episodes of the series Strike the Blood. The series opens up with a couple walking along the footpath, talking about their normal routine. At the same time, Kojou Akatsuki, a high school student who resides on Itogami Island, walks past them. Suddenly, the lady falls to the ground and Kojou turns behind to take a look at her. Right then, he notices her bare neck and feels something weird inside him. His nose starts bleeding and he immediately runs away from the place. The next day, Kojou can be seen trying his best to complete his assignment given during his summer break. He's talking to his best friend, Yaze Motoki, who tells him that he deserves the punishment as he regularly bunked classes and skipped numerous tests. Soon, Yaze and his other friend, Asagi, leave for school and Kojou is left to complete his assignment alone. After completing his assignment, Kojou walks to his school, but on his way, he feels like someone is following him. He notices a young schoolgirl trying not to be noticed and still keeping an eye on him. Then he enters a shopping mall and tries to hide from the girl. While inside, he takes a look at the girl and finds her young and innocent. Later, he confronts the girl and tries to confuse her, telling her that he is not the one she should be following. In the next scene, Kojou is walking away from the shopping mall, and the girl is also following him. At the same time, a couple of local boys try to misbehave with the girl and force her to accompany them. But when the boys touch the girl, she immediately unleashes her powers and punches the boys really hard. The boys then reveal themselves as demons. Seeing this, the girl takes out a magical sword from her backpack and fights with the demons. Kojou also helps her during the fight, and the two manage to defeat the demons. After the battle is over, the girl leaves the place. Kojou looks around and finds the wallet of the girl lying on the ground. When he opens it, he gets to know that the girl's name is Yukina Himeragi, and she goes to his school. Following this, Kojou proceeds toward his school, and on the way, he narrates the reality of Itogami Island. He mentions that the island is actually man-made, with the help of carbon fibers, metals, and magic. He also reveals that the island is known as the Demon District, as a large number of half-demons, vampires, and spirits reside there. Lastly, he says that he was a normal human being until 3 months ago, and now he is a 4th primogenitor, the oldest and first vampire who received the curse of immortality from the now dead gods. The next day, Kojou is at school, talking with the department head to return Yukina her wallet. When the department head informs him that she has not arrived yet, he returns back. Surprisingly, outside, he meets Yukina and returns her wallet. With this, he also asks her to take him out for a treat. Yukina accepts the request, and later the two can be seen inside a cafe, enjoying their meal. Here, Yukina tells him that she belongs to the Lion King organization, which works for the safety of the district. Furthermore, she informs him that she is sent there to keep an eye on him and eliminate him if she feels like he's a threat to society. Yukina then asks Kojou about how he turned into a primogenitor. Kojou tries to answer the question but feels extreme pain in his head. After this, the two leave the cafe. The scene then shifts to the past, where, after a bit of research, the Lion King organization learns that Kojou is the 4th primogenitor, an incredibly strong vampire, who most people think is only a myth. The organization then believes that Kojou can be a threat to the humans of the island. Hence, they send in an apprentice sword-shaman named Yukina Himeragi to keep an eye on him and kill him if he poses a problem. They also supply Yukina with a special sword named Sakoru, a powerful demon assaulting weapon. Yukina readily accepts the orders of the organization and leaves to be an observer of Kojou. Back to the present, when Kojou is on his way to school, he is surprised to meet Yukina right outside the building. Yukina tells him that she is his observer and needs to stay near him. She also tells him that she is actually waiting for her goods to get delivered there, as she has transferred to the same building in room number 705. Hearing the room number, Kojou is shocked. He then reveals that room number 705 is the one which is right beside his room. In the next scene, Kojou is talking to his English teacher, Kanase, who urges him to read hard to improve his marks. Furthermore, she is the only one who knows that Kojou is actually a fourth primogenitor and suggests he stay aware of the members belonging to the Lion organization. When Kojou inquires further about the organization, she just tells him that the organization is his enemy and he should always try to be away from its members. After some time, Kojou accompanies Yukina to get her groceries and some materials for her new apartment. Yukina seems to have no idea about what is needed for her, so Kojou helps her with the shopping. Later, while they are returning to the building, Kojou's sister, Nagisa, arrives there and recognizes Yukina immediately. She tells Kojou that they have already met each other and are good friends, since Yukina is her classmate. Moreover, Nagisa also invites Yukina for dinner and helps her prepare her apartment. Late at night, after enjoying dinner, Kojou decides to visit the nearby convenience store, alone. To his surprise, as soon as he steps outside, Yukina approaches him and is ready to follow him, wherever he goes. Reluctantly, Kojou agrees to let her follow him, and together they roam around the city at night. Suddenly, they notice explosions going on nearby, due to an apparent familiar battle on the East Island. Familiar is actually the manifestation of the vampire powers. Wasting no time, Yukina asks Kojou to stay behind, and rushes to take action against the ones causing the explosions. When Yukina arrives at the place, she is confronted by Rudolf Ustak, a European exorcist in charge of the triumphant homunculus Astarte, an artificial life form constructed via biotechnology. Yukina tries her best to stop Ustak from causing further damage and breaking the laws, but he refuses to obey the rules and proceeds to attack her. With no options left, Yukina takes out her Sakoru and fights Ustak. Seeing her speed and skills, Ustak summons his Astarte and asks her to attack Yukina. Yukina manages to block the first attack of Astarte, but cannot foresee the second one. When she's about to get hit by a giant hand, Kojou arrives there and saves her, knocking out Astarte. Ustak immediately recognizes Kojou as the fourth primogenitor and asks him to stay away from his mission. However, when Kojou displays his powers to Ustak, destroying the area, Ustak is compelled to walk away from the place. In the next scene, Yukina and Kojou can be seen walking to their school and talking about the destruction that happened the previous night. The news media presents the destruction and mentions that it was caused by a massive lightning strike. Later, Yukina realizes that Kojou is an immortal vampire, and it will take him a few centuries to pay up for the destruction he caused the previous day. Kojou asks her if she has already informed her organization about his identity and the incident, to which Yukina replies that the destruction was not his fault. Furthermore, she mentions that she is unsure about reporting it to her organization since he saved her from Astarte. While waiting for their train to arrive, Yukina inquires Kojou about why he was unable to control himself after the familiar attacked him. Kojou replies that he cannot control the familiars in normal conditions and can only fight back after they attack him first. He also states that he still hasn't drunk any human blood and has yet to be turned into a vampire. Because of this reason, the familiars do not consider him an experienced vampire. At the same time, Yaze arrives there and is shocked to see Kojou talking to a girl. Meanwhile, Yukina makes an excuse for being late to her class and runs away. Later, as Kojou is conversing with his classmates, Miss Kanase arrives there and calls Kojou to her office, along with Yukina. After reaching the office, Kanase asks Kojou and Yukina if they were present at the destruction site the previous day. She also mentions that some unknown monsters are hunting demons and they haven't been caught yet. Hence, keeping Kojou's safety in mind, she suggests he stay indoors and not wander around at night. Before letting the duo leave, Kanase tells Yukina to be aware of her actions and remain safe. After they walk out of the office, Yukina suggests to Kojou that they need to find the real monsters and solve the case. In the following scene, Yukina and Kojou are sitting at their school's cafeteria, discussing their plans to search for the monsters. Not having enough information about where to find them, Kojou approaches Asagi and asks her to collect the location of different businesses present in Lotharingia. Reluctantly, Asagi searches the businesses using her advanced computer and provides him with the location of a closed pharmaceuticals company. When the pharmaceutical company's conditions match their predictions, Yukina and Kojou decide to visit the place to investigate. In the next scene, they arrive at the pharma company and are surprised to find a collection of homunculi locked inside numerous chambers. Right then, a freshly generated Astarte appears and suggests Yukina and Kojou to go away. When they refuse to do so, Eustock arrives and tells them about what he is actually planning to do to destroy the island. Kojou tells him that whatever he's doing is immoral and suggests he stop. However, enraged, Eustock summons the Astarte to launch an attack on Kojou. Astarte manages to block Kojou's attack and also throws him away. Seeing this, Yukina proceeds to attack Astarte, but this time, Eustock has already studied the magical vibrations present in Yukina's sword and modified his Astarte to withstand her powers. With the modified abilities, Astarte manages to attack Yukina and make her fall to the floor. Following this, when Eustock approaches Yukina to kill her with an axe, Kojou intervenes, taking the hit and is decapitated. After this, Eustock and Astarte leave the place, and Yukina can be seen crying, holding Kojou's decapitated head. Elsewhere, while Asagi is talking to her AI-powered system, she gets a warning about 2 monster intruders trying to invade their place. At the same time, Eustock and Astarte can be seen advancing towards the core of the island's magical foundations. On the other hand, the immortal vampire, Kojou, gains consciousness after regenerating his body and healing his wounds caused during the fight with Eustock. Meanwhile, Eustock and Auster invade the island's central control tower and try to find the holy relic that is essential for their island to remain intact. Because of all the destruction going around, Yukina and Kojou feel an earthquake at their place. Kojou immediately takes out his smartphone and gets to know that Eustock has already managed to attack their island's control tower. He then worries about his friend Asagi, who works in the tower. Kojou calls Asagi and consoles her by telling her that he is soon coming to save her. Furthermore, he asks Asagi about the intruders, their current location, and if there's something important hidden in the tower that they're after. After this, Asagi logs into her system and finds out that the intruders are after the holy relic that is responsible for balancing the island. Moments later, Yukina suggests they fight against Eustock and Astarte, but Kojou refuses to join her. He tells her that he has a problem controlling the familiars, and he's afraid that he will just cause more damage. Yukina tries to make him understand that he is the 4th primogenitor and has the responsibility to save the human race present on the island. When Kojou further resists joining, Yukina makes a slight cut on her neck and offers Kojou her blood so that he'll be able to control the familiars. Kojou reluctantly drinks the human blood for the first time, unlocking his powers. In the following scene, Eustock and Astarte reach the core of the tower, where the holy relic controlling the island is situated. However, before Eustock can put his hands on the relic, Yukina and Kojou arrive and stop him from doing so. Eustock orders Astarte to finish the two, but this time, Yukina uses her magical sword with great power and blocks Astarte's attack, injuring her badly. Kojou also summons his newly acquired familiar, Leo Pemptis, surprising Eustock and attacking him. Eustock is unable to dodge the attack and gets knocked out. On the other hand, Astarte tries her best to stop Pemptis from attacking Eustock, but fails and is eliminated. After the victory, Kojou approaches Astarte and tries to suck the blood out of her. Seeing this, Yukina becomes enraged and yells at Kojou. In the next scene, Yukina can be seen preparing to leave the island before her organization finds out about her breaking the rules. However, before she leaves, Kojou approaches her and hands her the now repaired sword. The episode ends as he's asking her to continue her mission of observing him and fighting for good.